Hello dear friends, it's once again very hearty and warm welcome. Dear friends, in our today's lecture, first of all we are going to discuss about abiotic, that is non-living pollinating agents. All of you are known, in our previous lecture we people have discussed about different biotic, that is living agents such as insects, birds, bat, etc. And accordingly also we have studied about the different types of pollination such as Entomophily, insect pollination, Ornithophily, bird pollination, Chiropterophily, that is bat pollination. Now here immediately let us start the discussion of abiotic pollinating agents. Abiotic in the sense non-living pollinating agents. We know that there are two main abiotic pollinating agents such as wind and water. So first of all, let us talk about wind pollination. Wind pollination. Wind pollination is also known as anemophily. Wind pollination is also known as anemophily. You know, here anemos stands for the wind and phileme stands for love. It means the literal meaning of anemophily or wind pollination is that it is a mode of pollination, it is a type of pollination in which pollination is carried out through the agency of wind. It is a type of pollination in which the pollen grains are carried from anther to the stigma through the agency of wind. And the flowers in which anemophily is seen, the flowers in which pollination is carried out through the agency of wind are known as anemophilous flowers. Anemophilous flowers. So, we people have to discuss here about some special characters, some special adaptations shown by such anemophilous flowers to achieve anemophily. अर्थात या ठिकाणी आपल्याला सुरुवातीला विंड पॉलिनेशनचा अभ्यास करायचा आहे. आत्ताच जसं मी असं म्हटलं की ज्या वेळेला पोलन ग्रेन्स हे अँथर पासून स्टिग्मा पर्यंत या अबायोटिक एजंटच्या मदतीने कॅरी केले जातात त्यावेळेला त्याला विंड पॉलिनेशन म्हटलं जातं, अॅनिमोफिली म्हटलं जातं. आणि अॅनिमोफिली ज्या फ्लावर्स मध्ये घडून आणलं जातं अशा फ्लावर्सला अॅनिमोफिलस फ्लावर्स असं म्हणतात. अर्थात या ठिकाणी आपल्याला कॅरेक्टर शिकायचे आहेत अॅनिमोफिलस फ्लावर्सचे. सो लेट अस टॉक अबाउट द अडॅप्टेशन्स और वी कॅन से द स्पेशल कॅरेक्टर्स सीन इन अॅनिमोफिलस फ्लावर्स. अॅनिमोफिलस फ्लावर्स. First of all, let me tell you that anemophily is mostly seen in monocot plants. Say, anemophily is mostly seen in grasses. We can say in monocot plants such as jawar, maize, coconut palm, date palm, cannabis, etc. etc. So let us talk here the characters of anemophilous flower. Characters of anemophilous flower. First character, the anemophilous flowers are small and inconspicuous. Small and inconspicuous. Inconspicuous. Second, the flowers are non-attractive. Flowers are non-attractive. It means the flowers are colorless, odorless, nectarless. We all are aware that the colorful petals or colorful flowers as well as the nice fragrance, that is odor, as well as nectar, all these are the devices necessary to attract the insects, birds, bat, etc. etc. But as in these flowers, the pollination is carried out with the help of wind, and therefore there is no need of such type of, we can say, devices, and hence the flowers are non-attractive, flowers are inconspicuous, and the flowers are small. The stamens in these flowers are exerted. The flowers in these flowers are exerted. Exerted means what? In these flowers, the filaments of stamen are elongated. Filaments of stamens are elongated, and that's why the anthers are raised high up in the air. We can say the anthers are raised above the flower, means the anthers are protruded out of the flower. It is very necessary for the easy release of pollen grain produced in the anther. So we can say the stamens are exerted, the filaments of stamen are long, and anthers are versatile. Anthers are versatile. Versatile in the sense freely hanging, freely oscillating. Let me explain you. Suppose here is the filament of stamen and here is anther. Now the filament is attached to the anther at very small point, and that's why this anther shows free hanging, it shows free oscillation. It is necessary, I said just now, for the easy release of pollen grains from this anther. Such anther, such freely hanging, freely oscillating anther is known as versatile anther. या ठिकाणी मी आता तुम्हाला सांगत होतो की एनिमोफिलस फ्लावर्स हे नॉन अट्रॅक्टिव्ह आहेत, स्मॉल आहेत, इनकॉन्स्पिक्युअस आहेत, त्यांच्यामध्ये कुठल्याही प्रकारचं अट्रॅक्टिंग डिव्हाइस डेव्हलप केलं जात नाही. देयर इज नो सिक्रेशन ऑफ नेक्टर, ओडर, द फ्लावर्स आर कलरलेस. एवढंच नाही तर स्टॅमेन्सच्या ज्या फिलामेंट्स आहेत त्या लॉंग असल्यामुळे अँथर हे फ्लावरच्या वर आलेले असतात, प्रोट्रूड झालेले असतात, आणि हे जे अँथर्स आहेत ते वर्सॅटाइल आहेत, अर्थात फ्रीली हँगिंग किंवा फ्रीली ऑसिलेटिंग असं मी म्हटलं. त्यानंतर आपण या ठिकाणी म्हणू शकतो की द पोलन ग्रेन प्रोड्यूस्ड आर इन व्हेरी लार्ज नंबर, huge quantity. Pollen grain produced in very huge quantity. I would like to give example. A single flower in cannabis plant. Cannabis, do you know? Bhang. Single flower of cannabis plant produces near about more than 5 lakh pollen grains. 5 lakh pollen grains. Okay. Why this is so? Because obviously during anemophily, when the pollen grains are carried along with wind, definitely there is a chance of loss of pollen grain, and to achieve pollination successfully, such a huge quantity of pollen grains are produced. In addition to that, the pollen grains are very small, light in weight, dusty, smooth, exine is smooth, and sometimes the pollen grains are winged. Such winged pollen grains are also called as the saccate type of pollen grains. Saccate means that pollen grains may show a little wing-like structure so that they can be easily blown along with the wind. And as the pollen grains are very small, dusty, light in weight, and hence that pollen grains can be blown up to the distance of more than 300 kilometers. Pollen grains can be carried to such a long distances, maybe more than 300 kilometers. The flowers are well exposed in the air. Flowers are well exposed in the air. It means the flowers are not hidden among the leaves. Flowers are well exposed so that the pollen grains can be easily carried away by means of wind. The stigma in these flowers, the stigma is large, well developed, feathery or hairy, and we can say bifid. Let me show. Suppose here is a stigma. Stigma is bifurcated, and here obviously the stigma shows many small hairy structures. That is, we can say it appears just like a feather of birds. Why it is necessary? Just the pollen grains, airborne pollen grains, can be catched easily here by the stigma, and pollination is to be achieved. So these are some special characters seen in anemophilous flowers. So here we have discussed about the special adaptations, special characters seen in anemophilous flower. Let us take a fast and brief revision. I said that anemophily is seen in grasses, in monocot plants such as jawar, maize, date palm. I also said the coconut palm, also cannabis, and so on. Here the flowers are small, inconspicuous, non-attractive, colorless, odorless, also we can say the nectarless. The calyx and corolla, one more point, here calyx and corolla are highly reduced or even absent. Calyx and corolla are highly reduced or even absent. The stamens are exerted, that is protruded out of the flower because the filaments are long. Anthers are versatile, freely hanging. Pollen grain produced in very large number, in huge quantity. The pollen grains are small, light, in weight, dusty, and exine is smooth. Sometimes the pollen grains are winged. Such winged pollen grains are called saccade, so that they can be easily carried by means of wing to a very long distances, maybe up to 300 kilometers. Flowers are well exposed in the air. Stigma is also large, well developed, feathery or hairy, and bifid. So here we have discussed the wind pollination. Now we people have to study about second abiotic pollinating agent, that is water pollination. So let us talk about water pollination. Water pollination is also known as hydrophily. All of you are aware, here hydro or hydra stands for water, phylline stands for again love, here pollination. So the type of pollination in which pollen grains are carried from anther to the stigma through the agency of water is known as water pollination or hydrophily. And the flowers in which water pollination is seen, the flowers in which pollination is achieved through the agency of water are known as hydrophilous flowers. Definitely the aquatic plants show the hydrophily, aquatic plants, that is, we can say water dwelling plants show the hydrophily. Basically, we people have to study about the characters of hydrophilous flowers. Characters of hydrophilous flowers. Here, in hydrophily also, the flowers are small, just like anemophily. Flowers are small, inconspicuous, non-attractive, colorless, odorless, nectarless. Then here one more character, general character shown by hydrophilous flower. The calyx, corolla and all other floral parts, calyx, corolla and all other floral parts are unwettable. Let me write. Calyx, corolla and all other floral parts are unwettable. Unwettable. Unwettable in the sense these floral parts are covered by a sticky secretion, that is mucilage, and that's why though these floral parts, though the entire plant remain merged into the water, then and then their decomposition is not possible. Here WET, wet, this word stands for moistness, moist nature, and these plants never become moist. Why? Because always remain covered by means of the mucilage. Now, I said that the hydrophily, it is of two main types, such as hypohydrophily and epihydrophily. First of all, let us talk about hypohydrophily. हायपोहायड्रोफिली. हायड्रोफिलीचे दोन प्रमुख प्रकार आहेत, हायपोहायड्रोफिली आणि दुसरा एपिहायड्रोफिली. आपल्याला या ठिकाणी सुरुवातीला विचार करायचा आहे हायपोहायड्रोफिलीचा. आणि हायपोहायड्रोफिली हे ज्या वनस्पतींमध्ये दिसून येतं त्यापैकी एक अतिशय वैशिष्ट्यपूर्ण उदाहरण आहे, दॅट इज ऑफ झॉस्टेरा. सो लेट अस टॉक अबाउट दॅट झॉस्टेरा marina. It is the scientific name of the aquatic plant Zostera marina. This Zostera marina is marine and completely submerged plant. It is marine plant, completely submerged plant. Means it grows in marine water, salty water, ocean water, sea water. And the leaves of this plant are elongated, filamentous, appear just like the body of eel. You might be known eel. It is one of the aquatic animals. Its body is elongated, just like our belt. Okay, and the leaves of this plant are eel-like, and that's why this plant is also called as a eel grass. Eel grass. Or it may be called as the sea eel. Different names are given there. Now, just as I said, the Zostera marina is marine submerged plant. It is monoecious plant. It is monoecious plant. It is monoecious plant. What does it mean? Monoecious means the plant in which the male and female flowers are produced separately but on the same parent plant, on the same mother plant. Monoecious plant याचा अर्थ असा होतो की ज्या प्लांट मध्ये मेल आणि फिमेल फ्लावर्स हे सेपरेट डेव्हलप होतात, मात्र एकाच वनस्पतीमध्ये डेव्हलप होतात. Means in this plant the flowers are unisexual, male flower is separate, female flower is separate, staminate flower and pistillate flower. आपल्या सगळ्यांना माहिती आहे मेल फ्लावर मध्ये फक्त एंड्रेशियम किंवा स्टॅमेन्स प्रेझेंट असतात आणि म्हणून त्याला स्टॅमिनेट फ्लावर असं म्हणतात आणि फिमेल फ्लावर मध्ये फक्त गायनेशियम किंवा कार्पेल आहे म्हणून त्याला पिस्टिलेट फ्लावर असं म्हणतात. यू नो कार्पेल और पिस्टिल. मग या ठिकाणी या झोस्टेरा मरायना या प्लांट मध्ये या एक्वॅटिक प्लांट मध्ये दोन्ही प्रकारचे फ्लावर्स डेव्हलप होतात एकाच प्लांट वर म्हणून त्याला मोनोशियस प्लांट असं म्हटलं जातं. So, in this plant, Zostera, the male flower produces large number of pollen grains, The pollen grains produced by male flower are elongated, needle-like, and without exine. The pollen grains are comparatively elongated. Let me tell you the average size of pollen grain in this plant. The size of pollen grain is near about 2500 micrometer. It means 2.5 millimeter. 2.5 millimeter. We know generally the pollen grains are microscopic, but here these are elongated, needle-like. When the pollen grains are released from the anthers of male flower, that pollen grains float just below the surface of water. Just below the surface of water due to same specific gravity like that of water. याचा अर्थ पाण्याची स्पेसिफिक ग्रॅव्हिटी आणि या पोलन ग्रेनची स्पेसिफिक ग्रॅव्हिटी ही जवळपास सारखी असल्यामुळे हे पोलन ग्रेन्स पाण्याच्या पृष्ठभागावर सरफेसवर फ्लोट न होता न तरंगता ते पृष्ठभागाच्या थोडं खाली फ्लोट होत असतात. लेट मी शो. सपोज इट इज द वॉटर सरफेस and pollen grains they float here in this manner just below the water surface, and when these pollen grains come in contact with the female flower, the female flower shows elongated, well developed, large stigma and sticky stigma. Just imagine, suppose here is a female flower and here I have shown the stigma. The stigma is large, well developed, sticky. So whenever the pollen grains along with water currents reach near the stigma, that pollen grains coil around the stigma and pollination is achieved. So here the pollination occurs just below the surface of water, and hence this type of pollination is called hypohydrophily. Hypo, it stands for below. Hydrophily stands for water pollination. म्हणजे या प्रकारचं जे वॉटर पॉलिनेशन आहे यामध्ये प्रत्यक्ष पॉलिनेशनची क्रिया ही वॉटर सरफेसच्या खाली होते म्हणून याला हायपोहायड्रोफिली असं म्हटलं जातं. झोस्टेरा मरायना हे त्याचं टिपिकल एक्झाम्पल आहे. नाउ लेट अस टॉक अबाउट द सेकंड टाइप ऑफ हायड्रोफिली, that is Abiotic. AP stands for above. Abiotic, it is seen in aquatic plant, namely Vallisneria. Vallisneria, it is also submerged but freshwater aquatic plant. It is a freshwater aquatic plant. Zostera marina, in which hypohydrophily is seen. That Zostera is marine plant. Here the Vallisneria is submerged but freshwater plant. Now in Vallisneria the plants show unisexual flowers, but the male plant and female plant are separate. Male plant and female plant are separate, and you know such plants are called dioecious plants. Dioecious plant means this Vallisneria is dioecious plant. Male plant produces male flowers, female plant produces female flowers. Okay, so in Vallisneria the male flowers are born in male plant. At maturity the male flowers are detached, get separated from parent plant. Suppose these are the male flowers. Mostly these male flowers appear slightly boat shaped, and therefore these male flowers, when get detached from the parent plant, they come along the water surface and float along the water surface. Now the female plant at maturity produces female flower. You know that here the female flower shows only the stigma. Suppose here is a carpel and here is a stigma. Just consider stigma. Now before maturity the stalk of female flower, stalk of flower is called pedicel. Here the stalk of female flower is very much long but is coiled before maturity, and at the time of maturity it occurs the uncoiling of pedicel, uncoiling of stalk of female flower, so that the female flower it comes at the water surface. Female flower it comes at the water surface. Do you understand? मी आता असं म्हटलं की या फिमेल प्लांट मध्ये फिमेल फ्लावर्स तयार होतात, पण या फिमेल फ्लावर्स मध्ये हा जो स्टॉक आहे, पेडिसेल आहे, हा इलॉंगेटेड आहे, पण हा कॉइल्ड असतो. ज्या वेळेला फिमेल फ्लावर मॅच्युअर होतं त्यावेळेला या स्टॉक किंवा पेडिसेलचं अनकॉइलिंग होतं आणि पर्यायाने फिमेल फ्लावर इट कम्स नियर द वॉटर सरफेस. फिमेल फ्लावर हे वॉटर सरफेस जवळ येत असतं आणि वॉटर सरफेस जवळ आल्यानंतर these male flowers when reach near the female flower, the anthers of male flower burst off, pollen grains are released, and that pollen grains we can say attached, or we can say pollen grains stuck to the stigma of carpel and pollination is achieved. Now here the pollen grains attached to the stigma along the surface of water, not below the surface of water, and that's why here this type of pollination is called Epihydrophily. Why this is so? Because we can say in Vallisneria the specific gravity of pollen grains is definitely slightly less than the water, and that's why the pollen grains can easily float along the surface of water, which facilitates the pollination. So when pollination occurs along the surface of water, known as Epihydrophily, Vallisneria, and when pollination occurs just below the surface of water level, then it is called Hypohydrophily. Example, Zostera marina. So here we have discussed about the two abiotic pollinating agents. In this manner we have completed about the pollinating agents. We have discussed about the three biotic pollinating agents, that is Entomophily, then Ornithophily, Chiropterophily, and here we have discussed about the Anemophily and Hydrophily. Also the two subtypes of Hydrophily, Hypo and Epihydrophily, along with suitable examples. Now we people have to study about the outbreeding devices. Outbreeding devices. So let us start the study of outbreeding devices. Outbreeding devices. Outbreeding devices may be known as contrivances for cross-pollination. Contrivances for cross-pollination. It means these are different specialized devices, different specialized mechanisms which discourage or prevent self-pollination and facilitate the cross-pollination. In this topic, we people have to study in all 6 different outbreeding devices. Let us talk one by one each. So, the first outbreeding device for our study is unisexuality. Unisexuality, or we can say Dioecism. Name itself indicates unisexuality or Dioecism. Means it is the device, it is the mechanism in which the plants are dioecious. That is, the male plant and female plant are separate. Male plant produces only male flowers, female plant produces only female flowers, and thus there is no chance of self-pollination and cross-pollination is obligatory. Say example, that is papaya. All of we are known. In case of papaya, the male and female plants are separate. Male and female plants are separate. The male plant produces male flowers in which the pollen grains are produced, while the female plant produces female flowers, and thus the pollen grains are carried from male plant to the female plant, that is cross-pollination is achieved. Unisexuality or Dioecism. Now, second contrivance, second outbreeding device, that is Dichotomy. Dichotomy, it is the mechanism in which plant produces bisexual flower. Plant produces bisexual flowers, but there is difference in the maturation period of stamen and carpel. There is difference in the maturation period of andration and gynoecium, and thus as the male reproductive whorl, andration, or we can say stamen, and female reproductive whorl, that is gynoecium or carpel, does not show maturation at the same time. Hence, there is no chance or very less chance, rare chance of self-pollination, and cross-pollination is obligatory. अर्थात काही वनस्पतींमध्ये फ्लावर्स हे बायसेक्शुअल असतात. Andration, gynoecium, both reproductive whorls are present, पण स्टॅमेन आणि कार्पेल यांचा जो मॅच्युरेशन पिरियड आहे तो वेगवेगळा आहे. काही फ्लावर्स मध्ये अँड्रेशन आधी मॅच्युअर होतं आणि नंतर गायनेशियम मॅच्युअर होतं, किंवा व्हाईस वर्सा, याच्या उलटही स्थिती दिसू शकते. ऍक्च्युअली ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ इट, द डायकोगॅमी इट इज ऑफ 2 टाइप्स, such as Protandry, and second Protogyny. Protandry and Protogyny. Protandry, pro stands for first, and here andry stands for andration. Means it is the condition in which flower is bisexual, but andration mature first and gynoecium later. It is the condition in which androecium stamens mature first. Pollen grains are produced in the anther, that pollen grains are released out, but at that time gynoecium is not matured. That's why there is no chance of self pollination. Protandry याचा अर्थ या डिव्हाइस मध्ये, या मेकॅनिझम मध्ये फ्लावर जरी बायसेक्शुअल असलं तरी सुद्धा अँड्रेशियम किंवा आपण म्हणूया स्टॅमेन किंवा अँथर आधी मॅच्युअर होतात, पोलन ग्रेन्स तयार होऊन बाहेर टाकले जातात, मात्र त्यावेळेला त्याच फ्लावरचं गायनेशियम किंवा कार्पेल हा मॅच्युअर नसल्यामुळे its stigma cannot receive the pollen grain of the same flower and hence there is no chance of self pollination. Cross pollination is obligatory, compulsory. The protandry is seen in maize plant. On the other hand, second is protogyny, meaning it's same. Pro again stands for first and here gyne stands for gynoecium. So it is the contrivance, it is the device in which gynoecium mature first, androecium mature later. It means whenever the stigma of carpel is ready to receive the pollen grain, at that time the pollen grains of the same flower are not available. Pollen grains of the same flower are not available. Protogynia condition मध्ये फ्लावर जरी बायसेक्शुअल असलं तरी सुद्धा ज्या वेळेला कार्पेल किंवा स्टिग्मा हा पोलन ग्रेन रिसीव करण्यासाठी रेडी असेल, परंतु त्याच वेळेला त्याच फ्लावरचे पोलन ग्रेन्स हे अवेलेबल नसतील आणि म्हणून सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन होणार नाही. क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन इज ऑब्लिगेटरी, क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन इज कंपल्सरी. Protogyny, it is seen in Bajra. It is a monocot crop plant, Bajra. Third contrivance, Heterostyly. Heterostyly or Heteroanthy. Heterostyly or Heteroanthy. This type of contrivance is seen in Primerose. Let me explain you. May be called as simply Primula. Now, in this plant, Primerose, the plant produces bisexual flower, that is with androecium and gynoecium. Please look at the diagram. Here, with the help of yellow chalk, I am going to show the stamens, and with the help of pink color, here is a carpel. Now, in some plants of Primerose, in some varieties of Primerose, the flower shows such elongated stamen because of elongated filament, and carpel is comparatively short. As in such flower, due to such elongated filament, anthers are at very upper level, higher level, and here the stigma is at very lower level, and that's why here the self pollination is not possible. This flower is entomophilous flower. Entomophilous means here the pollination is achieved by means of insects, and we know that the insects show proboscis with definite length. So whenever, proboscis means mouth part, so whenever the insect having proboscis of definite length visits any flower, suppose here is the insect, this insect having short proboscis, so definitely its proboscis can come in contact with the anther of this flower but not the stigma of the same flower, and hence whatever pollen grains get stuck to this proboscis cannot be deposited on the stigma of same flower, so self-pollination is not possible. But another variety of the Primerose show exactly reverse condition. Exactly reverse condition means in another variety of Primerose, the carpel is very much elongated. Look at the diagram. Carpel is very much elongated, and that's why the stigma is at the higher level while the stamens are short due to short filament. Now here the insect which has received pollen grain of this flower having elongated stamen visits the flower with elongated carpel, definitely its proboscis comes in contact with the stigma and pollination is achieved. You know, here the pollen grains are transferred from one plant to another plant, means it is a type of cross pollination, and here this cross pollination is possible only due to the difference in the length of either we can say style or filaments of stamen. This condition is called Heterostyly or Heteroanthy. Hetero stands for the different or difference in the length of style, and anther facilitates the cross pollination. Next one is Herkogamy. Next contrivance, Herkogamy. Herkogamy, it is the contrivance in which naturally that flower shows some physical barrier or mechanical barrier between the anther and stigma of carpel. Certain physical barrier is present, mechanical barrier is present, certain obstacle is present in that flower, and so that the pollen grains of the same flower cannot be deposited on the stigma of same flower. Ultimately, there is no chance of self-pollination and cross-pollination is facilitated. म्हणजे हर्कोगॅमी हे जे कंट्राव्हन्स आहे, या कंट्राव्हन्स मध्ये स्टिग्मा आणि अँथर या दोघांमध्ये काहीतरी भौतिक असा अडथळा असतो, निसर्गतः तो त्या फ्लावर मध्ये आढळतो आणि त्यामुळे त्याच फ्लावर मध्ये तयार झालेले पोलन ग्रेन्स हे त्याच फ्लावरच्या स्टिग्मावर डिपॉझिट होऊ शकत नाहीत आणि सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन हे प्रिव्हेंट केलं जातं, डिस्करेज केलं जातं. या प्रकारचं मेकॅनिझम हे कॅलोट्रॉपिस मध्ये बघायला मिळतो. इन कॅलोट्रॉपिस फिफ्थ contrivance. Next, self sterility or may be called self incompatibility. Self sterility or self incompatibility, name itself indicate. In this device, in this mechanism, plant produces bisexual flower. The maturation time of androecium and gynoecium is also same. The pollen grains of the same flower may be get deposited on the stigma of same flower, but that pollen grains of the same flower are not allowed for germination. The pollen grains of the same flower are not allowed for germination on the stigma of same flower. It means the pollen grains of the same flower are rejected. They are not allowed for germination. That pollen grains wither off. They are made inactive or they breaks off. म्हणजे त्याच फ्लावरचे पोलन ग्रेन्स जर त्याच फ्लावरच्या स्टिग्मावर जरी डिपॉझिट झाले तरी सुद्धा त्या ठिकाणी त्या पोलन ग्रेनचं जर्मिनेशन हे होऊ दिलं जात नाही. पोलन ग्रेन्स हे नष्ट करून टाकले जातात. याला आपण म्हणतो सेल्फ स्टरिलिटी. मीन्स सेल्फ फर्टिलिटी इज नॉट अलाउड. self-sterility, self-incompatibility. You know the meaning of incompatibility? Non-matching. Anyway, this self-sterility is seen in tobacco. And now come to the last outbreeding device, that is prepotency. Prepotency. Say, for example, apple. Prepotency, it is the condition in which though the pollen grains of the same flower get deposited on the stigma of same flower, but the preference is given to the pollen grains of other plant variety to undergo germination. It means the priority is given to undergo germination to whom? To the pollen grains of other variety of plant and not of the same plant. दुसऱ्या प्लांट व्हरायटीचे पोलन ग्रेन्स पण जर स्टिग्मावर त्या ठिकाणी डिपॉझिट झाले असतील तर त्यांना आधी जर्मिनेट होण्यासाठी परमिशन दिली जाते, अलाउ केलं जातं आणि त्याच फ्लावरच्या पोलन ग्रेन्सला जर्मिनेट होण्यापासून प्रतिबंध केला जातो. त्याला प्रीपोटेन्सी असं म्हणतात. And I said it is seen in apple. So here we have discussed about the different outbreeding devices, the different special adaptations seen in plants and flowers to achieve cross pollination and to discourage the self pollination. Now we have to discuss a little topic, that is the advantages and disadvantages of cross pollination. So let us talk about it. Advantages and disadvantages of cross pollination. First of all, let us talk about certain advantages of cross pollination. Cross pollination brings about genetic recombination, mixing of genetic material of two different plants, and it leads to the production of new variety of plant. So first we can say that cross pollination brings about genetic recombination, that is mixing of genetic material of two different plants, and it helps in the production of new plant variety. Cross pollination also facilitates the development of strong, healthy, disease resistant, pest resistant and high yielding plant varieties. Cross pollination, it also facilitates the development of such plant varieties, we can say commercially useful plant varieties, commercially useful crop varieties, which show natural disease resistant, pest resistant, they can withstand different adverse conditions, they are strong, healthy, as well as high yielding plant varieties can be produced by cross pollination. And you know, the development of such disease pest resistant plant varieties which can withstand adverse conditions is known as hybrid vigor. हायब्रिड व्हिगर अर्थात हा जो फेनॉमेनॉन आहे की ज्यामुळे क्रॉस पॉलिनेशनमुळे किंवा आपण म्हणूया की दोन वेगवेगळ्या प्लांट व्हरायटीच्या क्रॉसिंगमुळे नवीन वनस्पती तयार होणं की ज्यांच्यामध्ये पॅरेंट प्लांट्स पेक्षा काहीतरी सुपिरियर कॅरेक्टर्स दिसत आहेत, या फेनॉमेनॉनला हायब्रिड व्हिगर असं सुद्धा म्हणतात. इन शॉर्ट, that hybrid plant variety appears more vigorous, more strong than both of the parent plants, and I said this phenomenon is known as the hybrid vigor. Hybrid vigor. So cross pollination, it brings about hybrid vigor in new plants. Next, the cross pollination, it helps to increase variability and adaptability in plants. Variability and adaptability in plants. Just as I said, as during cross pollination it occurs the genetic recombination, ultimately always there is a chance of development of certain new character in the progeny, that is variability, and due to the cross pollination, due to mixing of genetic material, the new offsprings, new individual produced develop more vigorous, means they show a great adaptability or more adaptations to adjust to withstand the different adverse environmental conditions, means that new variety of plant produced due to cross pollination obviously show variability and adaptability. In addition to that, we can say that the plants produced due to the cross pollination show high yield, as well as we can say the seeds of such plants show high rate of germination. High rate of germination because the seeds are more viable. You know, viable means they have viability, means to undergo the germination. So the hybrid plant produced by the cross pollination produce the seeds with high rate of seed germination, as well as there is a high yield, and hence we can say the cross pollination is proved more advantageous. But simultaneously there are certain disadvantages. Let us talk few disadvantages of cross pollination. First of all, the cross pollination is not the sure method of pollination. It is not the sure method. It is unsure way of pollination, because we know the cross pollination always involve two plants, maybe of same species or different species, and as during cross pollination the pollen grains are to be carried from one plant to the another plant by means of different physical agents, that is we can say abiotic agents or biotic agent, and that's why there is no guarantee of 100% sure pollination. So there is a chance of failure of cross pollination. It is the disadvantage. It is not the sure method of pollination like self pollination. Second disadvantage, that the cross pollination is non-economic method. Non-economic method. We have already studied in very detail, and I said just now that for cross pollination, especially for Entomophily, Ornithophily, Chiropterophily, the flowers has to produce different devices such as large brightly colored flowers, nectar, fragrance, large number of pollen grain, etc. And for that purpose it requires expenditure of energy. Okay, so definitely it is non-economic method. Cross pollination is non-economic method. Next, the cross pollination may introduce certain undesirable character, into the offspring, because we know the cross pollination involves two different plants. So certain undesirable character of other plant variety can be introduced into the progeny. Means here the purity of characters cannot be maintained, like the self pollination. Self pollination मध्ये आपण शिकलो आहोत की सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन मुळे त्या ठिकाणी कुठल्याही गुणधर्मांचं प्युरिटी मेंटेन केली जाते, त्या ठिकाणी कुठलंही कंटॅमिनेशन ऑफ कॅरेक्टर्स इज नॉट पॉसिबल. मात्र या ठिकाणी देयर इज नो एनी सच चान्स. There may be introduction of certain undesirable character into the offspring. Here we have discussed some of the advantages and disadvantages of cross pollination. So here we have completed the entire topic related with pollination. So today let us stop here and we shall meet very soon for next lecture. So all of you take great care of yourself. Thank you and bye.